Yes,
Sorry?
sir. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
sir.
So we'll
Thank you.
just take one more question. Sashi sir is there. He wants to say something. Just one more. This one we'll take because I find our next resource person, Mr. Ranjit, is waiting. Yeah, please. Sashi sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, can I speak in Hindi?
Yeah, please go ahead.
सर हमारा जो क्लस्टर है वो 4 ग्राम पंचायत का है, जिसमें एसिड सेग्रीगेशन से शेड वगैरह सब तैयार होके और 2 साल से वो कार्य कर रहा है। लेकिन सर जब तक हमने रूरबन से उनको सपोर्ट दिया तब तक वो अच्छे से चल रहे थे। अभी उनको वेजेस का प्रॉब्लम ज्यादा आ रहा है, तो उसका क्या सॉल्यूशन हो सकता है सर? वेजेस उनको कैसे मिलेगा जितने भी वो वर्कर काम कर रहे हैं उसमें?
Okay. So now you see, sir, earlier panchayats could not pay because 100% panchayat had to pay. But now Swachh Bharat Mission 2, phase 2, they have provision. 15th Finance Commission, from 15th Finance Commission fund, you can pay, they say. You can pay from 15th Finance Commission fund, right? And that you must find out. I mean, it is possible. I know it is possible to pay from the 15th Finance Commission fund the wages of the workers, right? That is possible, and you must find out how much your panchayat has received. If the panchayat has not received the 15th Finance Commission fund yet, you need to see that it comes to you, and from there you will be able to use that money for paying wages, sir. Possible, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, एक रिक्वेस्ट है सर,
Yes.
प्लीज शेयर ऑल पीपीटी सर। मिल नहीं पाया सर अभी तक हम लोग को।
No, yeah. We uploaded here, and I think people have difficulty downloading, and we have decided today we will send all these this afternoon by email to all of you. We have all your email. We will send all by email to you, right? I think.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I am here, so if there are any more questions, I can take later. If there are any more questions, I think we can take later. I would now invite Mr. Ranjit from Suchitwa Mission. He is an IEC specialist from Suchitwa Mission, Kerala, and he is here with us to share the Kerala model, how they go about setting up solid waste management units in Kerala, and what are the lessons other states can draw from Kerala. So, welcome, Mr. Ranjit. I am able to see you. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me for this, for conducting this session. And let me introduce myself. I am Abraham Thomas Ranjit. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I am Ranjit. I represent Shujitwa Mission. Shujitwa Mission is the nodal agency for implementing Swachh Bharat Mission programs, and also here we have, as we all know, it's Swachh Bharat Mission is a centrally sponsored program, and also here we have another mission named Haritha Kerala Mission. That this separate mission is actually formed by the central state government in 2016 with the mission to with the vision of integrating various schemes like integrating waste management and agriculture, integrating waste management and micro enterprises. With that mission, we have formed Haritha Kerala Mission in 2016, and we are the Shujitwa Mission is the implementing agency for both this Swachh Bharat Mission program and Haritha Kerala Mission programs here. Actually, let me introduce Shujitwa Mission first. Shujitwa Mission is a technical body of the state government. We are supposed to provide all strategic support. We are supposed to formulate the strategy and policy of the state government in the sector of waste management and sanitation. Also, we are providing technical support to all the LSJs in the state in the sector of solid and liquid waste management issues. As I said, we here functioning as a nodal agency for assisting corporations, municipalities, and gram panchayats in projects related to sanitation and waste management. Also, the funds from central and state government is passing through Shujitwa Mission. We are providing technical sanctions for the projects developed by local self-government institutions. Here, as I said, we are formulating the strategy for solid waste management in the state. Here, we are facing some challenges in waste management. Like, unlike in other areas, here we are not able to construct a large centrally functioning waste management infrastructure, because here the moisture content in the waste is very high. As you all know, here we have rain for almost 6 months in a year. So the waste management, the aerobic composting methods at a central point is not an easy way to manage here. Also, the calorific value of the waste is low, and almost 6 months of heavy rain, high density of population and land scarcity, also public protest against centralized facilities. All these challenges we are facing here, and that prevents us from establishing centralized facilities. So that's the triggering factor for thinking about the these sectoral or this cluster approach. That triggered us to think about the cluster approach here. Actually, you might have heard about the Green Protocol. The Green Protocol, we have started implementing Green Protocol in the year 2016. That's the core principles of the, as you all know, the waste management. We have to focus on the waste reduction strategies. Actually, Green Protocol is the way forward for how to reduce the quantity of waste generating in the local bodies. For that, we have put forward certain strategies for reducing the quantity of waste generation through this Green Protocol initiatives by banning the use of disposable items in the state. Here the use of plastic carry bags is completely banned. The microns are not, irrespective of the microns, in as per the solid waste management rules, the carry bags of less than 50 microns are banned. But here the carry bags of all, irrespective of microns, carry bags are fully banned in our state. That's the primary step in the waste management initiatives of the state, because the quantity of waste generation is increasing day by day, and the population also increases day by day. So we should at some point we should put forward a strategy for the reduction of waste generation. So the carry bags are fully banned in our state, and from 1st January 2020, this year 2020, January 1st, we have completely banned the use of disposable items. There are some we couldn't able to implement that ban in the full in a fully manner. Because of the COVID and other challenges, we could able to the policy decision has come up, and the government has issued orders related to the ban of disposable items. So we could cut short the use of disposable items in our state, and also that eventually contributed to reduce the quantity of waste that we should manage. That also is a major achievement of our state, I think. And when coming to the cluster approach, here we have formed the Shuvitva Mission has shortlisted around 50 agencies for supporting local self-government institutions. These institutions are called Harida Sahaya Sthapanam. These institutions will be supporting all the local self-government institutions in implementing. As we all know, the local self-government institutions like panchayats and municipalities, they don't have a dedicated team or dedicated person for implementing or monitoring the waste management initiatives of local bodies. Because, by considering this fact, we have formed almost 50 Harida Sahaya Sthapanam to extend support, technical and also the support for implementing the solid waste management projects for the local bodies. These Harida Sahaya Sthapanam we have shortlisted based on their past experience in the field of waste management. here the households are supposed to manage the biodegradable waste at source itself. I will show you certain methods for managing. We are recommending for households to how could they manage the waste at the source itself. Ramesh sir, can I present the PowerPoint here? Hello. Hello.
In your system, after the mic, there is one small box and arrow. You see?
Yes.
Video, mic, and then a small
yes,
box
yes.
and arrow.
Yes.
Yeah, click that arrow.
Okay.
And then it will show the desktop. See where is the desktop? You click the desktop. Click the desktop. Yeah, fine. We are able to see. You can
okay.
You can put in full view mode if possible.
Sorry.
You can put in full view. We are able to see the
okay.
slide. Yeah, full view is not there.
Yes, sir. Yes. These are the source level waste management devices we are promoting here. One of the method is pipe composting. There are two pipes, and these pipes are full of holes for ensuring aeration inside the pipe. These types of pipes are installed in various households in the LSJs, and other device is the tri-bin. These bins also have micro holes in these around these bins that ensures aeration to the device. And other is the tripod, kitchen bins, a normal pot composting. This can be practiced by anybody. This pot composting by using two pots, and we are providing inoculum for enhancing the composting system. By using this inoculum, all these systems can be managed at source level itself. And this Haritha Sahaya Sthapanam is providing support to the households and institutions for managing these devices. For that, this Haritha Sahaya Sthapanam has formed Haritha Karma Sena. This each ward will be having 2 Haritha Karma Sena members for Gram Panchayats and municipalities based on the number of households. They are forming Haritha Karma Sena. Normally, each ward will be having 2 members. These devices are meant for the managing waste at a central point for institutions or at a community level, like housing colonies, etc. Yes, as I said, this Haritha Karma Sena will be visiting each and every households, and they are supposed to collect the non-biodegradable waste only. They are collecting the non-biodegradable waste and providing support for the households to manage their all the biodegradable waste at source itself. After collecting this non-biodegradable waste, they will transfer this collected waste to a mini material collection facilities at the ward level. Normally, the mini material collection facilities will look like this. Such facilities we are establishing at each and every ward, and from there, actually, this mini material collection facilities can be considered as a transfer stations. From these many material collection facilities, the collected waste will be transported to the central point, like material collection facilities. That is at the Gram Panchayat level. And from there, here we have a company named Clean Kerala Company. This Clean Kerala Company is having association with each and every Gram Panchayats. No, before that, this collected waste at material collection facilities sorted, and the plastics and other the valuable items can be sold at the MCF level itself. That each and every Gram Panchayats can sell their collected the valuable items there itself. And the other items like multi-layered packets, plastics, and the low quality, which doesn't have market. Normally, it cannot be sold at the market locally. So that such things will be transported to the resource recovery facility at the block level. Actually, this whole block will be managed by the Haritha Sahaya Sthapanam, and each block will be having around 10 to 12 gram panchayats and municipalities. One cluster will be having around 12 gram panchayats and municipalities. Then that cluster is managed by Haritha Sahaya Sthapanam. This Haritha Sahaya Sthapanam is providing support to all the local bodies in that cluster. So the waste will be collected by the Haritha Karma Sena and transported to the mini material collection facilities. From there, actually that is a transfer station, and from there it is transported to the material collection facilities, and the secondary segregation will happen at the material collection facility. And from there it is those who need to baled and or shredded. There are two facilities available in the resource recovery facility at the block level. So the things that are needed to be shredded or baled for further transportation or further processing. As here we don't have much industries in the field of recycling, so most of these things needed to be transported to other states and like Delhi or Gujarat or Tamil Nadu. So things needs to be these plastics are of lightweight, and transportation of such things is not economically viable. So it needs to be baled, and baled blocks needs to be transported for making it viable. So this RRF will be having baling machines and shredding machines, also dust removers for clean, ensuring that the raw material, these waste are clean and tidy, so that further recycling or other co-processing in cement factories or should be used in, it could be used in for the construction of roads as a replacement of tar. By using the plastics, you all may know that by using the shredded plastics for road tarring, the quantity of tar that needs to be used for the road tarring can be reduced up to 8 to 10%. So that is a resource conservation aspect of the waste management. That waste is used for road tarring, and the natural resources used for road tarring can be reduced in that way. So the resource recovery facility is managing all the dry discards and help them to help the LSGs to ensure the forward linkage of all these dry discards for road tarring or co-processing in cement factories or for recycling. There are three methods adopted. First is the shredded plastic will go for road tarring. The baled plastics will go for recycling, and the other things like chappals or bags, such resins, leather, such things will go for co-processing in cement factories. That's the way here we have managing our waste. Actually, this all these things started. These kind of policies come in place only in 2016. Afterwards, we have constructed around. Here we have around 1,040 local bodies, 941 gram panchayats and 93 urban local bodies. After this way of strategy is adopted, we have constructed almost almost 900 material collection facilities, which means almost 90% of the gram panchayat is having material collection facilities here. And also out of the 152 blocks, around 50% of the block panchayat is having resource recovery facilities, and almost all ward. Actually, this ward level mini material collection facility is constructed with the support of MGNREGS program. They are implement with the support of the local self-government department. MGNREGS project is carrying out implementing the mini material collection, creating the infrastructure for the mini material collection facility. So that's the way. That's the way here the waste management functions here, and I think almost all thing I have communicated all things with you. Anything, if you have anything, any doubts, you can please ask.
Thank you, Mr. Ranjit. And now it's open for questions. And any of you have questions, you can raise your hand. You have you have a hand symbol in your desktop. You see, you have hand symbol. You can raise. You can raise your hand and ask questions. If you can, for me, Mr. Ranjit, if you can explain about your green protocol, a little bit about your green protocol, I would appreciate. I heard also about the district collector attending marriage ceremonies, if it is a green marriage, things like that I heard. If you can explain to us what is this green protocol that you are talking about.
Before that, I will show you some pictures of the material collection facilities. These are the material collection facilities we are here the Gram Panchayat is having. Such facilities are available in almost all the Gram Panchayats here. The shredded plastics are used for road tarring. This is one of the recycling plant. Actually, here we don't have much recycling plants. We are sending them to other states for recycling, but here, this is green protocol. Actually, in 2015, here we conducted the national games, and it is expected that around 50,000 PET bottles will be used would be used as part of the national games, and also the enormous quantity of waste also would be generated as part of that event. But during that time, the mission, Shweta mission, started thinking about how to manage this. There was no precedence of conducting such a large event. So when started thinking about managing the waste of that event, we had discussion with various stakeholders, and the discussions regarding waste reduction come forward, and this, we have formulated a strategy for waste reduction. So and we proposed implementing green protocol in that big event, and as part of implementing the green protocol, we have completely banned use of disposable items. Normally PET bottles will be largely used in such big events. So as part of reducing the quantity of waste generation, we completely banned use of PET bottles, and as an alternative, we proposed use of steel water bottles. We have issued steel water bottles to supplied steel water bottles to all the athletes, and also others, those spectators and other people who are part of the event are provided with the steel tumblers. So disposable use of disposable glasses, disposable tumblers are completely avoided. And also there was methods for segregation. Volunteers were there for promoting segregation, and these volunteers were deployed in the event. They strictly advised the participants to follow segregation. So the waste are segregated, and the dry wet waste are completely used for composting. Composting of the wet waste is strictly adhered for the function. And also the for the promotion of the events, flex boards are not used. Things like this eco-friendly boards are promoted as part of the event. Following these national games, we conducted this swearing in ceremony of the state ministry. In that function also we followed green protocol, which follows by the state youth festival and national school athletic meet. Here we at the capital city we are having a ritual called Article Temple Festival. All these events are following nowadays. All these events follow green protocol during the function, and in a simple sentence, we can say that disposables are completely avoided while carrying out all these events. All methods of eco-friendly campaigning material or eco-friendly alternative for disposable items are practiced, and in such a way we are reducing. Earlier, before 5 years back, the quantity of waste generation in Article Temple Festival is calculated by the local body as 300 tons. But now we could reduce to 60 tons per year per event. That's the difference we are seeing through the implementation of Green Protocol. And also, this is a guideline for the educational institutions. How an educational institution can follow Green Protocol. There are 35 points here in this guideline. So if educational institutions have through the NSS we are implementing last year around 182 national service scheme were part of the Shujitva mission for implementing Green Protocol in educational institutions, and they are supposed to implement these 35 points to make their campuses, the educational institutions, following Green Protocol. Here are some pictures of implementing Green Protocol in marriages. Normally, as we know, disposables are widely used in marriage functions. As food are served in disposable cutleries, and also the flex boards are there for congratulating the couples. Such things are converted to eco-friendly mode, and marriage functions are nowadays conducting not all the marriage function, but as part of promoting such concept, we are conducting marriage functions following Green Protocol. These are the pictures of Green Protocol in School Youth Festival. The participants or the visitors are served water.
Your slide is not there. Your slide.
You can't see the slides, sir?
No. I think it has gone back. You have to upload again.